Hi, my name is Lynn Lambert, Natural Resources Director with the Harnett Soil and Water Conservation District. With Keep Harnett Beautiful Week coming up just around the corner, today we wanted to share some information with you about watersheds and storm water management and how we can all be a solution to pollution within our watershed. So let's first start off with talking about what a watershed is. We all live in a watershed. Our homes are in a watershed, our schools, our towns, our businesses are all within a watershed. And what a watershed simply is, it is a body of land where all of the hills and low points act like a funnel to direct water in the same direction. And here in Harnett County, we are within what's called the Cape Fear River Basin. So all of the water within the watershed in our Harnett County funnels down to the Cape Fear River. And so everything that we do within our local watershed not only impacts our local communities, but it also impacts the communities downstream of the Cape Fear River. So let's talk about how storm water impacts our watershed. Storm water is precipitation runoff that hits impervious surfaces when it rains, when snow melts, or other forms of precipitation fall. When it rains and the rainfall hits an impervious hard surface where the water cannot soak down into the ground, that water starts to run across the surface. It may be across a parking lot, it could be down a road, it could be off of the rooftop and through a gutter system before it reaches that parking lot within that business or that town, or even our local community where we live in our homes. But all of that water that cannot soak into the ground and travels across impervious surfaces is directed into what we call a stormwater management system. And a stormwater management system is simply a network of drains and ditches that catch that water and help that water travel through our watershed. By catching this water in a stormwater management system, we are helping to protect our homes and businesses from flooding, as well as protecting our infrastructure, such as our roads, from flooding from all of this rainwater as well. So our stormwater management systems are a very important tool in our landscape. One important thing that we need to realize about our stormwater management systems is that as they catch water within our watershed and carry it through the watershed to the nearby water bodies, such as our creeks and in our case the Cape Fear River, where they dump this storm water, this water is left unfiltered. So there is no filtration system to filter trash and other contaminants out of stormwater before it enters these important sources of water. So that leaves it up to us to protect the water quality in our local watershed. Whatever contaminants that we leave on these impervious surfaces will enter that stormwater runoff and eventually be deposited into our local creeks and streams and the Cape Fear River. So let's take a minute to look at our watershed model here. Our watershed model depicts a community very much like we have in Harnett County. We have a residential area, we have an agricultural area, and then we have our towns. And in the middle of our model, you will see bodies of water, small bodies of water entering into a larger body of water. So in our case here in Harnett County, we're going to say that this is the Cape Fear River. Now with our Keep Harnett Beautiful campaign, we're really encouraging people to be responsible and not litter and pick up any trash that they may see in their landscape, whether it be on the side of the road, along the front of their homes and property that they own, if they notice litter and other trash in a parking lot area, and other forms of contaminants in the environment. And so for this situation, we're going to take a look at the effect that litter has on our watershed. Let's say our neighbor Joe here, he's not very thoughtful and he doesn't secure his trash cans well. And so when a storm comes along, it blows his trash can over and he has litter that's in his yard. At the same time, the person that's driving this vehicle down the road doesn't secure their load, and they have trash that blows out of the back of their vehicle as they're driving down the road. Our next neighbor over here traveling down the road just stopped to get lunch. They were in a hurry. They decided they didn't want the trash in their car, so they tossed their trash out the window. So their cups from lunch, their bags, their burger wrapper, all that stuff that came with their lunch to go was tossed out of the window. And then our neighbor over here in town decided that it was time to clean out their vehicle, and the parking lot was a great spot to do that. So instead of putting it securely in a trash can to be disposed of, they just littered and threw the trash from the back seat of their car into the parking area. So as you can see, by the time all of this littering takes place, we have quite a lot of litter scattered throughout our watershed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what happens to all of this litter in our watershed the next time a big rain event comes through. And so I've got my squirt bottle here, and we're going to make it rain. So as we make it rain, you're going to start to see some things happening. Remember how we said the way a watershed works is water moves through all the low points in our watershed, over the or down the hills, and into our nearby creeks and streams. It travels through those ditches, into those grates in the stormwater management system, and then we start to see water run through our stormwater management system. And in doing this, as the rain is falling, hopefully you all can see when we first started, our water down here, and what we're going to pretend is the river, was nice and blue. But as our rain continues to fall and water travels down the watershed, we start to see that our water is starting to show signs of contamination. We can see the litter from our car that we threw out when we cleaned out our back seat. We can see the litter from the trash that we did not secure and it blew out of the back of our truck is now in the river. We can see our lunch that we threw out of our car window is traveling through the watershed and will eventually make it down through the river. And so it's easy to see on our watershed model here that everything we do within our watershed has an impact. And it's up to us to be a solution for the pollution and not litter in order to keep Harnett beautiful. So we welcome you all to visit our Keep Harnett Beautiful website to learn more about how you can be a solution to the pollution and get involved in the Keep Harnett Beautiful campaign.